You know the feeling. You're driving along, making great time, and then you see the signs. You have to slow down, wait in line, and hand over your money to keep going, dollars to use it, because it saves them weeks of sailing around Africa. The same goes for the Panama Canal. You see the sheer scale of the concrete locks and machinery lifting those massive ships. You understand exactly why they charge a fee. But the ocean has natural shortcuts, straits carved by geography, not humans. Under international law, these passages are public highways. They belong to everyone, and any ship is supposed to sail through them for free. Right now, armed factions and local governments are setting up illegal toll booths in these open waters. They are stopping cargo ships and demanding extortion fees that can reach $2 million for a single crossing. Treating a free ocean highway like a private pay-to-play toll road affects everyone. It holds the entire global economy hostage. To see why this works, we have to look at the spots where the vast open ocean suddenly funnels into a narrow lane. These are the physical bottlenecks where global traffic is forced to squeeze together. Look at this gap in the Middle East called the Strait of Hormuz. Every single day, 1/5 of the world's oil supply flows through this tiny opening. Then there's the Strait of Malacca in Southeast Asia. This is essentially the biggest traffic jam on the ocean. 1/3 of global ocean shipping passes through this corridor. The path shrinks to just 1.7 miles wide, incredibly tight for massive vessels. Due to this geography, South Korea and Japan rely on this channel for 80% of their energy. There are no easy detours. Because so much traffic is forced through such a tiny space, these spots are the single most sensitive points in the global supply chain. So what happens if a ship refuses to pay a $2 million illegal toll, or a conflict blocks the passage entirely? The route completely halts. The only real option is to turn around and take the long way. For many routes, that means sailing completely around the continent of Africa. This detour adds weeks to the journey, burning millions in extra fuel. Shipping companies don't absorb these costs. They add them directly to the price tag of whatever they carry, from electronics to the fuel for your home. A blocked strait halfway across the globe translates directly into higher prices at your local grocery store. A country that controls one of these narrow water passages gains immense influence. It gives them a way to exert pressure on other nations without ever firing a shot. Think about China's economy. Their factories need vast amounts of raw materials, and their finished goods have to be exported. Almost all of that relies heavily on the Strait of Malacca staying open. If a rival power can control or threaten that specific waterway, they can effectively suffocate a competitor's economy without ever declaring war. This is exactly why the United States and other global powers are actively securing military partnerships near these straits right now. They want to ensure nobody else can shut the gates. Control over these passages provides a level of influence that is hard to match. In modern trade, these tiny strips of water are the ultimate levers of power. The biggest risk here is a copycat effect. If one country successfully forces ships to pay an illegal toll in a free strait, the long-standing rules of the sea begin to fall apart. Countries bordering the Malacca Strait are already watching the extortion happen in the Middle East. Some are now considering adding their own transit fees, labeling them as environmental taxes or cleanup costs. If every country sitting next to a narrow waterway decides to charge an admission fee, the system of free global trade we have used for generations will stop functioning. The ocean looks vast, but its usefulness depends entirely on a handful of fragile, highly contested doorways. And that brings us right back to your wallet. When those doorways get expensive to cross, every single thing you buy gets more expensive too. So the next time prices jump for no obvious reason, do not just look at the stock market. Look at a global map. As these invisible toll booths multiply across the globe, the cost of doing business in a contested ocean eventually becomes a cost you pay at the register.